You wake before sunrise. You kneel in a stone chamber, voice hoarse from midnight chants. The priests watch. The gods don't answer. But you speak anyway, because if your words fail, the sun might not rise, and everyone will blame you. You were born for the gods. You're not just some farmer's daughter. You're temple property before you even cry. Born into a high-status family in Thebes during the reign of Seti I. And guess what? Your name's already on a scroll in Karnak's priest registry. You're breathing, but they're already planning your future, for Amen. By age 5, your toys are gone. You now hold reed pens and memorize hymns about cosmic order. Other girls learn to weave. You learn to chant before sunrise with no mistakes. If you slip up, the priest hits the floor with a staff, loud. Not at you, just enough to scare you straight. Your meals are inspected. Your bathwater, blessed. Even your sleep is watched to keep demons out. You're not being raised. You're being processed into a vessel, a living ornament. You will serve the god Amun like it's your only purpose, because in this system it is. At 7, you're brought into the temple's outer court. The priests don't smile. You're made to kneel and recite the litany of Shu. You don't even know who Shu is. Doesn't matter. You get it right. Barely. The priest nods once. You're in. Now you're officially a Shemayet, a junior temple girl. And the rules hit like a chariot. No meat. No touching the unclean. No playing with outsiders. You wake at dawn, bathe 4 times a day, and keep your head shaved to show purity. It's not for health. It's to make you forget you were ever a child. But here's the kicker. You're not some powerless slave. You live inside Karnak, the most powerful temple in Egypt, bigger than 20 football fields, richer than most cities. The high priests manage land, taxes, even armies. And you're their future priestess. That comes with danger, but also real power. The people outside the walls bow when they see your robes. Even nobles don't mess with you, because Amun's voice is sacred, and someday you might speak it. For now, you scrub floors and learn how to stand still during processions while carrying incense bowls taller than your head. But keep going. The god is watching, and so is everyone else. The purification process is brutal. You're 13 now. That means you're due for purification, temple style. It's not some light sprinkle of water and a prayer. No, this is a full reset. Physically, mentally, spiritually. You're about to become one of the raw priestesses, and that means one thing. You have to be pure, all the way through, or you're out. First, your body. The rules are brutal. You're isolated for weeks in a special chamber near the sacred lake. You eat only bread, figs, and boiled onions. You bathe in cold water 4 times a day, even before sunrise. When the Nile wind makes your skin feel like papyrus peeling off bone, you're shaved bald again, head to toe. Hair is chaos. The gods don't like chaos. After that, the rites. A priest marks your body with sacred oil, frankincense, myrrh, and blue lotus. You smell like a perfume stand in a sandstorm. Then, he chants spells from the Book of the Divine Cow, while a second priest draws symbols on your skin in ochre. You are now the living property of the gods. On the final day, you're brought to the sacred lake, not to swim, to submerge. You step in, naked, trembling. Priests line the shore, chanting. A statue of Amun stares down from its bark, and you go under. Not once, 3 times. To wash away the last traces of the mortal world. When you rise, gasping and blue from cold, the high priest examines you. Eyes, mouth, fingernails, feet. If he finds anything wrong, blemishes, birthmarks, even an uneven toenail, you're rejected, sent back to your family in disgrace. And your family? They just lost decades of social status in one heartbeat. But if you pass, you get the white linen robe, the sacred sash, and the lotus pendant of the initiated. You step into the next rank. You're no longer a novice. You are pure, officially. Spiritually sterilized for divine service. Welcome to the House of Life. You're pure, shaved, starved, and scrubbed. Now you're relocated to the Purank, the House of Life. Sounds cozy? It's not. It's Egypt's version of a divine research lab smashed into a holy prison. No windows, no laughter, no mistakes allowed. Here's the deal. You live inside Karnak, one of the biggest temple complexes in history. Over 200 acres of stone halls, sacred pools, and courtyards so vast they echo when you breathe. You now train where only the elite are allowed. Your days begin before dawn. First job? Grind pigments for scribes and clean stylus kits. Miss a single tool, that scribe accidentally spills ink on your linen. Second job? Copy hymns. You sit for hours on a cold floor, hunched over papyrus, writing lines in cursive hieratic until your fingers cramp. Write one word wrong, rip the sheet. Start again. Then comes the astronomy training. You climb up to the temple roof at night and stare at the stars. The priests teach you how to track Sirius, Sopdet, because her rising predicts the Nile flood. You learn lunar cycles, shadow angles, and how to read the decan stars that measure the hours of the night. Miss a calculation? Someone's crops fail, no pressure. You study medical scrolls, dream interpretation manuals, and embalming chants. There are over 200 spells in the Book of the Dead, and they want you to memorize half of them by next year. You learn which herbs repel demons and which ones just smell weird. You know how to bandage a wound and prep a corpse. You are 15. Oh, and don't forget etiquette. You must bow exactly 27 degrees to a senior priestess. Don't laugh. They measure it. Most temple girls don't last. They break, cry, collapse, or mysteriously disappear. But you adapt, fast. You stop talking. You stop blinking. You absorb everything. Because here's the secret. Every scroll you master, every star you memorize, every rite you perform, it makes you harder to replace. And in a world where status is carved in stone, that's the only protection you've got. You're not just a priestess in training anymore. You're a walking archive. And the gods are watching. You become the goddess. You're 16 now, and things just got weirder. You've passed every chant, ritual, and star test they threw at you. So guess what? It's time to stop studying the gods and start becoming one. Specifically, Hathor, the goddess of love, beauty, music, and madness. Perfect fit, right? It starts with the Festival of the Beautiful Reunion. Every year, Hathor sails from her temple in Dendera to reunite with her divine husband, Amun, at Luxor. And this time, you're playing her. Not metaphorically, literally, you are Hathor now. Embody her wrong, and it's not just embarrassing, it's sacrilege. They dress you in gold so bright it could blind a crocodile. Perfumed oils, a wig piled high, lapis jewelry, and a crown shaped like cow horns. You look divine, you feel ridiculous. The priests chant while you're loaded onto a gilded river bark. Hundreds of people scream praise from the banks. You smile and wave like royalty, but your knees are jelly and the incense is making you gag. You arrive in Luxor after hours of river theatrics, drums pounding, priests dancing. You disembark to meet Amun's statue. It's housed in a massive gold shrine, staring at you like it knows you haven't slept in 2 nights. Time for the sacred embrace. It's a ritual fusion between you and the god. Don't ask what that means. You dance before him, swaying in perfect rhythm while chantresses sing behind you. You lift the sistrum and shake it just right. If your movement pleases him, the priests nod. If it doesn't, well, some girls are quietly swapped out next year. After the ritual, there's wine, lots of it. Hathor's big on celebration. But drink too much, and you'll end up like that priestess who passed out mid-procession and was demoted to incense duty for life. Sacred politics and deadly etiquette. You've danced like a goddess and passed every test. Now you're 18, and the temple finally trusts you with something more dangerous than rituals: politics. Congratulations, you're part of the inner circle. Also, welcome to the Snake Pit. The High Priest of Amun? He's not just a holy man. He controls land, food supply, armies, and most of the treasury in Thebes. Some say he has more power than the pharaoh, and now you're sitting in the same meetings. With generals, with tax scribes, with men who could order executions over a miscounted grain shipment. You're no longer just a priestess. You're now expected to speak, vote, and advise using words sharp enough to slice without leaving blood. That takes skill. Say too little, you're weak. Say too much, you're uppity. Misread the room, you vanish. These meetings happen in a chamber lined with painted cobras and ivory scepters. Symbolic, sure, but also a mood. You sit straight, speak only when invited, and never interrupt a senior official unless you want to be reassigned to latrine prayer duty in the desert. Outside the chamber, it gets worse. You now attend royal banquets as a spiritual advisor. You stand quietly behind the queen's chair, holding a lotus fan. But make no mistake, you're being watched. One wrong look at a noble? Scandal? One compliment misheard? Accusation. The palace thrives on rumors like a snake on sun. Then there's your sisters in the temple, other high-ranking priestesses who smile with their teeth and whisper with their knives. One leaves a crushed lotus under your mat. That's not a gift, it's a warning. Stay in your lane. So you study harder. You memorize every noble's family tree, their political enemies, their last temple donation, even which god their household favors. Information is survival. One day, the vizier of the north nods at you during council. That's not approval, it's a test. You nod back, exactly once, not too fast, not too warm, just right. Guardian of the dead and their gold. You're 20 now. You don't just serve the gods, you speak for the dead. You've been promoted to oversee the scroll room, where the most sacred spells and funerary texts are kept under lock, seal, and threat of divine retribution. You've memorized over 200 spells from the Book of the Dead. You can guide a soul through Do It, name the 42 judges of the afterlife, and explain why hearts must be lighter than feathers. This isn't poetry. It's law. One wrong recitation in the afterlife, the soul gets eaten by Amit, a crocodile-lion-hippo hybrid with eternal heartburn. But the dead don't just need chants, they need gear. Amulets, Ushabtai figurines, perfume wands, linen wrappings, protective scarabs. You choose them, you bless them. Rich families pay obscene amounts of silver for your opinion on tomb prep. You're the high priestess of high-priced death. You also help write custom funerary scrolls, bespoke insurance policies for the next life. You decide which spells they need based on how sinful they were and how much they're willing to bribe the gods. A drunk merchant wants a smooth ride to paradise? That's going to cost extra. Don't get sloppy. These scrolls are filed in the temple archives and double copied by scribes. Errors are your fault. If a soul wanders into the field of knives instead of the field of reeds, it's your name the family curses for eternity. And of course, the grave goods. You track every shipment: gold masks, alabaster jars, lapis inlays, ostrich feather fans. You sign the ledgers, seal the crates, and personally approve the opening of vaults. You carry a ring that grants access to the burial inventory chambers. Lose it, and you might lose a hand. You run the temple's empire. By 22, you're no longer just guarding scrolls. You're managing a kingdom inside a kingdom. Temples don't just pray. They own land, warehouses, cattle, vineyards, even their own labor force. And guess what? You're now in charge of making sure it all runs without collapsing. Or mysteriously catching fire. You wear the seal ring that unlocks storerooms and treasury chests. Inside, ledgers thicker than stone tablets. Every shipment of grain, every head of livestock, every jug of wine, counted, taxed, recorded. You sign scrolls authorizing monthly rations for 80 scribes, 300 workers, 600 oxen, and one particularly entitled goose who bit the high priest last year. The Karnak Temple alone owns over 90,000 acres of farmland and brings in thousands of deben in silver annually. When the harvest fails, people starve. When records fail, heads roll, literally. Twice a month, you attend audits. A scribe reads out the stock tallies while you confirm they match temple logs. If anything's missing, grain, linen, gold, eyes turn to you. You don't get second chances. One priestess misplaced a shipment of frankincense. She now blesses roof tiles in a desert outpost no one can find on a map. Bribes? Always. Scribes slide coin purses under mats. Nobles ask for favors. Even palace officials suggest shortcuts. You smile, nod, and report every single one to the treasury guard captain. He owes you. You helped his son pass the ritual purity exam. Leverage is sacred too. Then come the offerings. You oversee daily donations to Amun, bread, beer, flowers, fruit, oxen. All tracked by weight and priest signatures. If a loaf's too small, someone's stealing. You send junior priestesses to check every kitchen fire and storage vat. One time, you caught a baker diluting flour with sand. He's still chewing on the punishment. Don't forget festival season. You coordinate resources for processions, banquets, fireworks, and mass sacrifices. Everything has to be perfect. If Ammon's statue tilts even an inch during a parade, it's considered an omen. You can't afford omen. By now, people bow when you walk by. Scribes call you mistress of measures. Even the high priest keeps his tone respectful. Because you don't just serve the gods. You balance their books. And in Egypt, whoever controls the grain controls everything. The king's body, your ritual. You're 24, and the pharaoh's holding his Sed festival, his royal reboot ceremony. It's been 30 years since his coronation, and now he has to prove he's still strong enough to rule. Spoiler, he isn't. He limps like a busted ox cart. But the ritual says he's divine, so guess who has to make it look believable? You. You're summoned to Memphis, the old capital. Huge crowds, giant statues, nobles drunk on pomegranate wine. It's chaos dressed as religion. You're there as a key ritual performer, which means you carry the power to confirm the king's divinity. No pressure. First, you purify the courtyard with water from the Nile, mixed with natron and blue lotus. Then you recite the secret Heka spells, words so old no one even fully understands them. You don't flinch. You've been prepping for this since your voice cracked. Then it's time to bless the 9 batons of kingship. You kneel, present them to the pharaoh, and say the lines exactly. Miss a syllable, and it's seen as a divine rejection. A priest messed it up under Horemheb once. He disappeared before sundown. The next part is public, a massive procession. The pharaoh runs laps inside a sacred enclosure to prove his strength. You follow in full priestess regalia, holding a menet necklace and chanting blessings while trying not to trip over the hem of your leopard skin cloak. Every noble and commoner is watching. The guards have their hands on their blades. Then comes the part only a handful ever witness. The king's private rebirth ritual. You're taken to the inner chamber. You anoint him with sacred oils, place a crown of reeds on his head, and recite the incantations that supposedly reconnect him with the sun god Ra. You're close enough to see the sweat on his neck. One wrong move? That crown gets passed to his son, and your name gets erased from temple records. You get it right. He nods. You're dismissed. On your way out, the high priest murmurs, "Well done," which in temple language means, you didn't die. The next day, new gold flows into the temple. Cattle are donated. Bread is piled to the ceiling. The people believe the king's still divine. They don't know you're the one who made it work. A solar eclipse and a city in panic. One morning, the sun doesn't rise. Not fully. The sky turns orange-gray, shadows bend the wrong way, and birds go silent. You already know what it is, a solar eclipse. But to the people of Thebes, it's the gods throwing a tantrum, and that means someone has to fix it. Guess who gets volunteered? You're dragged out of mourning rites mid-prayer. The high priest is pale. The sky is wounded, he says. You don't argue. You grab your scrolls, sistrum, and incense burners. The temple courtyard fills with nobles, farmers, guards, and beggars, all sobbing or screaming. Some are already blaming each other. You're just trying to breathe. First, you lead the ritual of Ra's protection. It's loud. chanting, drums, frantic waving of burning papyrus bundles. The priests claim your voice drives back the serpent Apep, the cosmic chaos monster. In reality, you're buying time. Then comes the omen reading. You climb the sanctuary steps and recite the position of the eclipse, using the star charts you memorized back when your teeth still wobbled. It will pass, you declare, voice steady. Ra still lives. The crowd starts to settle, mostly. Next, blame control. You summon junior priestesses to cleanse the sacred pool and scrub every statue of Amun. No unclean touch is allowed. You lead a procession around the temple walls, 3 full laps, sprinkling matron water while chanting spells against plague, drought, famine, and rebellion, just in case. Then the questions start. Is it a sign of betrayal? Has the king angered the gods? Should we sacrifice more oxen? You're expected to have answers. The priesthood is divided. Some call for harsher rituals. One even suggests locking up temple girls, just in case. You shut that down fast. Back inside, you write a new hymn to Sekhmet, the lion-headed goddess of war and plague. You direct the offering of wine, pomegranate seeds, and 7 lapis lazuli stones, believed to cool her wrath. Your throat burns from chanting, but the eclipse begins to pass. The sun returns, slowly. The city exhales. People cheer. The priests look relieved. The high priest calls you chosen. But you know better. You didn't save the world. The moon just moved. Still, for one terrifying hour, Thebes turn to you like you were the sun. And no one's forgetting you, especially you. God's wife of Amun, and it still isn't safe. You're 30. Most women your age are married with 3 kids and a garden full of onions. You've just been named God's wife of Amun. The top. The title once held by queens, the most powerful woman in all of Thebes, unless you count the goddess Mut herself. Your new uniform? Leopard skin cloak, gold collar, staff shaped like a cobra. You get your own estate, your own treasury, even your own boat crew. You don't answer to the high priest anymore. Now he bows to you. Even the pharaoh sends gifts. And not just thank you baskets, land deeds, livestock, jewelry. You're basically a second state. Your duties? You preside over major festivals. You lead processions. You perform the daily temple opening, which means you're the first to lay eyes on the statue of Amun each morning. You sing him awake. You anoint his lips. And once a year, you reenact his sacred union, a ritual so secret, half the priests don't even know the full script. But here's the part no one warns you about. Power makes you a target. There's a younger priestess now, pretty, smart, very obedient to the high priest. She follows your movements like a hawk pretending to be a dove. One missed ritual, one misstep, and she'll pounce. And she's not the only one. You still attend council, but the old men don't smile as much. The palace is shifting. There's talk of the pharaoh's death, talk of a new dynasty, and rumors? Oh, they're everywhere. That you've grown too rich, that you influenced the Nile's flood schedule, that you once cursed a tax official for late payments. You didn't. You could, but you didn't. Even your own temple guards won't meet your eyes. You suspect bribes. Maybe worse. So you start training new girls, quietly. You teach them how to read omens, how to speak without saying too much, how to chant through fear. Because you've learned the truth, even at the top, you're never safe. You sleep with one eye open, one hand on your scrolls. You wake before dawn, still serving a god who doesn't speak back. But you've outlived rivals, outlasted epidemics, and outsmarted politics sharper than any knife. You are God's wife of Amun, the voice of the divine, the queen of silence. And no one forgets your name, not even the gods.